So I don't know where to start. Second time around, take two, not raining with insight now.
Mic works.
Mic works now. Testing. Okay, good. So yeah, Dan pretty much said it all. Quantity surveyor, QS.
Hello, welcome back to Keys to the Rock. As always, Ben Rego, joined by my good friend
Daniel Woods. How are you guys doing today?
It has been a long time, Daniel. I mean, gosh,
Life.
two weeks or something since the last episode, or maybe or almost 2 years. That's kind of how long it seems.
Who knows, man? Who knows? But as you said, it's been a very long time. I think individually, our entire team have been making great strides in all of their different personal lives and careers, professional careers. That's just been actually like a handful to really get us all in the same room, all to put together this great podcast.
From all of that, and even the guests, there's typically like 6 schedules to juggle, and you've been cycling around the world and stuff like that. So sometimes it's tough to schedule around the Tour de France and things.
Banter.
Tour de South Shore. Anyway.
But anyway, happy to be back.
Yeah, definitely.
This is season 2, episode 2. Season 2, episode 1. Who do we have on?
We had Kareem James, so BCB, a Bermuda commercial bank, and Kareem was a fantastic guest, and honestly, someone who I've been working very closely with, and I know yourself as well, over recent months. So very informative. Great to kind of establish that relationship with him.
He talked about the government guarantee, just all of the things that you need to know information when going through the bank, and reach out to him, and then put his email somewhere around here, whatever the case may be. And go back and give a look. Season 2, episode 1. Don't look at the date because you will be like, wow, these guys really took a break. But anywho, as we move on, we're just gonna sort of get into it, I guess. What's the market saying right now? Is it like the weather?
The weather, yeah, I mean, that's why we're inside. The weather's been a little bit uncertain lately. It seems like over the last handful of months, every 2 weeks, we've had a stormy weather, but the market has been honestly crazy. I mean, if you ask most people, I think a lot of real estate agents and people say, oh, the market's always hot, it's all great. But really and truly, I think the reality is it's not busy until there's a quality listing. When there's a quality listing, we're absolutely being bombarded with requests, really double-digit tours within a week, bidding wars. I mean, even fixer-uppers. I had 5 offers on a fixer-upper just off of Napton Hill in Isle of Acres. So 5 offers on that, and it needs a lot of work. And that's the same thing for copy paste for different sales and rental listings. I mean, rentals. Last time I checked, there was 42 rentals across the entire industry. The crazy thing about that, we usually would have about 150 rentals at any one time. Sales, you kind of fix the house or fix the price. If there's been anything that's online for more than 3 months, I honestly think something probably wrong with it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a handful of agents who are really, really killing it and doing a really, really good job, and just marketing these properties to the best of their ability to get the word out there. And there's a feeding frenzy. And after every property, if the 11th person buys it, there's 10, or rents it, let's say, if it's a rental property, there's 10 other people who are, actively in the market, really well educated and desperate to find a place. And
something quite
then, you hire other good real estate agents, and there's a handful. Then, they have a stable of buyers and renters to move and jump at the next opportunity, really.
No, that's awesome. That was a great opportunity. Exciting. And I mean, I guess I'll put it out there. I've been going through this process, and something I know that we said earlier we touched on, but it's been purchasing property. It's a lot, man.
So we will be closing on a property for you next month, hopefully. And that's not the only thing that's uplifting you into the real estate game, but also these cushions that we're sitting on. But but just talk about the process, because it is definitely something that, honestly, it's not as straightforward as
I mean, the situation that I'm in was a little bit trickier, as it was deemed a commercial property, as it had multiple units. But just from the entire financing point of view, all of the ducks that you just need to have in a row, the earlier you start, the more prepared you are, more engaged you are, and having all your players around you. I mean, you would think that myself in this space with this podcast and my resources, that it should be clear, cut and dry. But no, it's still, was I'd say probably close to pretty much like 7 month process or more, you know.
Yeah, and it's a unique kind of property for a unique kind of guy.
So I think it really is a testament to, circle back to the episode that we was discussing last time, knowing exactly what you're getting into when it comes down to the boundary surveys, the quantity surveys, the structural surveys.
Further to that, like if there's an encroachment with a boundary survey, the banks, even if it's an inch, the banks they're gonna kind
the title issues of the clean
their
title.
There's gonna be a lot of items that need to be addressed. So it's really recommended that as a seller you get these things ironed out before, deal with any issues with the neighbors or anything like that, so that you can move a sale forward efficiently.
And it was just like a great eye-opening process. I mean, I'm happy that we're at the point that we're at now, but it was just one of those things that definitely makes me say like, oh, okay, like it's one thing to speak about it and everything like that, but now to actually go through in practical nature the process. It's I'm glad I have a great team. Glad I've got a great team that I'm going into this investment with, and it's luckily it's working out. And then speaking of that, I mean, this property specifically is going to need a lot of work. So I think it's quite cool that we're bringing on someone who their literal job is to explain the cost. He's a quantity surveyor, Robert Richardson. And he's going to explain basically what his role is in terms of project management, construction management, and quantity surveying. But he is the accountant of construction.
Yeah, and it's amazing that in these, certainly uncertain times, with the economy, everything like that, the cost of construction, everything's just been going through the roof, that people of all ages, young Bermudians, that really you can't even book a contractor for months. Everyone's so busy. Clearly there's this, people have a crystal ball, showing a lot of confidence in the future of Bermuda to do these sorts of things. So, really looking forward to speaking to Robbie and Robert. Yeah, sorry, professional name. And, if anyone needs an apartment to rent, Daniel, in about a month's time, is going to be the landlord of many of them. So give him a shout.
Let's bring on Robert. And I don't think there's anything else. Let's bring on Robert and just get right into it. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Welcome back. We are here with our guest, quantity surveyor Robert Richardson.
Also known as Robbie.
We distinguished that over the break. And I'm going to just put it right out there. I can speak to Robbie quite well, but I know he can speak for himself, obviously. And Robbie is a great guy. He's also my newest business partner for Compound Property Group. That took a while. CPG. I haven't said it out loud yet, so it sounds pretty weird. And it's a company that basically does professional services, which relate to the valuation work and appraisals that I do, and then also speaks to the quantity surveying reports and stuff that Robert does and property management. Then on the other side, there's another company that does project management, construction management, which is also what Robbie has probably about 13 to 14 years of experience in. So that's just my little background to let you know this connection. So
I feel a little left out, I'll just say that, but also
you can invest in our company if you like.
Maybe one day. But anyway,
maybe
should we let Robbie
you said
talk?
Monday? You said maybe Monday?
No, one day.
Oh, okay, yeah, Monday.
Maybe 2
maybe
days.
Monday. Cool.
3 days.
All right. Anyway,
Robbie, great to have
Robbie,
you. Great to have
welcome.
you. And I must say, it's take two.
Thank you, Dan.
And Ben.
And sorry.
It's okay.
So I don't know where to start. Second time around, take two. Not raining with Insight now.
Mic works
now. Testing. Okay, good. So yeah, Dan pretty much said it all. Quantity surveyor, QS, used in a myriad of positions throughout the construction field. Most of the time I'm being used to let people know how much it costs to build their projects or renovate their homes. That's really the nuts and bolts of it.
Mm-hmm. So how important is a quantity surveyor, aka QS, to a project? I mean, can people, I'm sure they can, but should they just go into a project if they're looking to even just do an extension of their house? Like,
how critical are you, and who kind of utilizes you guys the most? Architects, the owners, etc.
So I would say it's very critical. In today's market, QSs are being more and more requested, especially because of the rising cost of construction. Being able to be accurate, to be able to secure loans for residential projects. Also, contractors who don't have the familiarity with pricing work, but they are great in the field. Sometimes they want the added benefit of having a QS to be able to submit and work on the bids for them for a more accurate number. QSs can also be used for insurance claims if there's damages to your property from a storm. And yeah, even big corporations as far as commercial buildings will use QSs to basically tell anybody what it is to build or cost to build your project.
So you enjoy it? I take
I
it,
do
right?
enjoy it. Yeah,
And you also do
it
project
can be
management,
tedious, but it's a lot of looking at numbers. But I enjoy that.
Big numbers guy.
Yes, big numbers.
right? And on the other side of things, you also do project
Yes.
management.
So
right?
where project
Or
management comes
construction
in,
management.
construction management, project management. It's an added benefit being the QS on the project that I do manage, because the QS obviously builds it out from a financial standpoint, and they know all the nuts and bolts what goes into it. So it's easy then to move into the management of the project from start to finish.
So how does one become a QS?
Wow. I think Dan could speak to this, but we took the same route.
Oh, you met Rick?
Rick,
Yeah.
Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors.
Rick's. Did you have a big party with like Rick's and you pose in photos of
We
it?
all know that Dan does over-the-top stuff, so he had to have a big party and say, "Look at me, I got my Ricks." But no, I didn't take that route. But at the end of the day, it was hard work. It took me about 18 months, 2 years to get it. So we are, both Daniel and I, Rick's registered surveyors, member of the institution, globally recognized.
And that's from the UK.
Yes,
right?
so it's a UK professional body.
So random sidebar, but what happens if you're a quantity surveyor in the States? They have their own qualifications?
Yes, so there are other avenues that you can take. They don't even really call themselves QSs in the States. They will say estimators.
Yeah, surveyors aren't.
Survey is not the term they use in the
UK.
States.
Not made so
But
direct.
there are other professional bodies that can get, I wouldn't say equivalent to a Rick surveyor, but they are pretty good.
US, like they call it soccer, like they had to create
It's
their
kind
own
of like
type
what
of
Liverpool
field.
do. They
I
don't play
didn't
football.
even look at that route, so I can't even tell you all the professional bodies and what they're
So,
doing.
Right.
so I guess this is a question I know the answer to, but it's become so common, I guess, that as we've been working together. At what point should someone reach out to sort of you? Like, when should someone come to you in the project? So if we're doing an extension off of this property because, we got rained out last time. At what point should I be coming to you and to say,
So most people need to reach out to the bank to get financing. So I would say you want to have someone like me, a QS, in at the early stages of your project. So if you say, okay, I want to add on to this home, you're obviously going to look at architects, and at the same time, you want to look at maybe securing a QS, because as the architect gives you designs and sort of ideas, an architect can say, okay, based on very low schematics, what the budget will be for such designs that the architect's coming up with. So yeah, right from the beginning.
And sorry, just to
Yeah,
add
go,
on,
go.
and then so for financing, I think we've noticed that a lot of people sort of require QS reports
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
The stamp and the indemnity and the insurance to, so if a bank is going to lend on someone doing works, that's something that's you're required
so
in the entire process.
Traditionally, the banks have asked for 3 contractor quotes. There's some pros and cons to that. Obviously, the cons are you can get 3 contractor quotes that have a wide range of difference in pricing. So which one is accurate? What the bank would do is say, okay, let's get a QS report to see what's the most accurate number, who's closest in terms of the spread. What else they're doing now is pushing clients or customers to get a QS report and also a contractor's quote. Most of the times, I have to say this, people do not come to quantity surveyors right off the bat because it is a charge for that service. So a lot of times they do go straight to the contractors and say, can you give me a quote? But if we're being realistic, it's a bit of a waste of time of contractors' time. at the time.
So my mom's going out to bid. She's out to bid. Maybe you even help with one of these contractors, to be honest. I think out to 5 contractors for a project. And so all of them No construction company will have a QS on staff, right?
Yeah,
They do?
Some construction companies do. Actually
Maybe
have
not
them
a
on staff.
chartered person, but they wouldn't have.
So if you, I mean, because there's how many of you on the island?
There's a few, but
Tall,
in
dark, and
terms of
Yeah. Are you single?
there are a few, but they either work for government or they could work for large sort of construction company. There are not a lot that do it independently.
Right.
There are people that do have the experience and know how to price and put together a estimate, but they aren't RIC certified.
Because what I was curious about is, some of these contractors, well-known builders, is more than one of them sometimes might reach out to you for the same job, right? Because they don't know who they're all speaking to, and then you're going to have the exact same cost that you say it's going to cost to build for all of them, for those two plus.
Well,
so then what happens?
Well,
Conflict.
if that happens, it's a conflict of interest. So literally, what I would do is I would work for the person that reached out to me first, and then if someone else reaches out and say, no, I can't support you, I can't work for you at this time because I'm bidding for contractor A. So yeah, that's how it would go. You would never bid for two contractors at the same time.
And in those situations, it's the contractor who pays your charge, correct?
Correct.
And they'll just bill that to the,
Yeah.
Well, they hope they get the job.
If they get the
Yeah.
job, yeah.
They'll hope to get the job. If not, it becomes overhead or company expense. But most of the
cost of doing
times, if
business.
they do win the project, then they're going to roll it up into the cost of the
Of
project. So,
course, of course.
Yeah.
And how much typically does it cost?
It also depends on the size of the project, what's involved.
Like an hourly
rate.
Yeah.
Anywhere from like 150 to 190, 195 will be range
Watch his,
of
stop watching his
QSs.
pockets, bro.
No, I'm just curious how much this podcast is going to cost us. We're on his time.
One at a time, yeah.
Notice how I gave you a range?
Yeah,
I didn't give
yeah,
you my rate. I didn't give you my rate.
200 for
Yeah,
this.
yeah. And these guys wasted a lot of time. Said no. This is awkward.
We love you
Edit
guys.
that,
I don't
edit
even know
that.
which camera to look at anymore. There's so many of them.
So, so obviously, the service that you're providing is very, very useful and is sort of critical into anyone who's working on a project. What's sort of the, I guess, horror stories that you might have heard, or what's worst case scenario? Like, I'm sure you get those like emergency calls where you gotta come in and not save the day, but essentially, you have to figure out how to make something work that can't work, or
Yeah, so
we
I
asked
would
a
say-
structural guide, we asked a structural surveyor the same question, and so it's just one of those things when people are looking to purchase properties from Ben and stuff like that, or do stuff.
Speaking generally and not about one specific project, most of the time, I wouldn't say most of the times, but if you don't have a QS or a project manager, you're going to run the risk of having to sort of look through these contractor quotes, find out if they're reputable, find out if their price is actually doable, because obviously when you're making this sort of
Decision.
investment in yourself or decision, you're looking to get it done as cheap as possible, but sometimes cheap doesn't mean that it's the better option. So I've seen where someone goes for a low bid on a contractor, and at the end of the day, the contractor actually can't finish the job because there's not enough money.
You get
in
what
the
you pay
contract.
for.
So they either bail out and then they're left to fork out more money to another contractor to finish, or they're in court, they're fighting, or because
You bite off
the
more than you
contract
can
price
chew.
was too low from the outset. So yeah, quantity surveyors and even good project managers can look at a budget and say, yeah, this doesn't look right. So definitely.
And so you definitely be, I mean, I know you spoke to it earlier, some of the fixer-uppers and stuff like that, but that seems like it's an ideal space for someone like yourself to, I'm sure that must be a call, because that's, I mean, as we drive around Bermuda, you see there's quite a bit of properties that need quite a bit of work. So as people are looking to sort of purchase properties these days, I would assume that,
Yes.
They
should
always want to know.
you or a
how much-
contractor, like what you would subsede a contractor, in my
I'm getting a
opinion.
lot of requests now of people that either getting family homes or young professionals that are able to buy older Bermuda homes that want to renovate. Essentially, you're not getting a lot of new builds. There are some out there, but for the most part, it's I want to go up on my residence. I want to go out. I want to add another bathroom. So these people are reaching out saying, "Look, I need to know how much this is to know if I can get the money from the bank." So yeah, and that's the perfect time to say, "Look, let me get a QS. Come out." I have to stop there and say a lot of people also call and they have no sort of plans, no sort of scope. That makes it difficult. So I need something to go by, even if it's a light schematic with square footages. Then I could give you a budget number. But the more detailed the plans are, the better. So you're informed when you're going to the bank to look for finance.
So what are you sort of seeing now in like cost per square foot? I get that question I mean, it's actually, people can put gold faucets through their house, so it's tough to actually say.
So it all just depends on the level of finishes, high end, low end, mid range. But right now you're looking anywhere between $450 on the low end, so the standard, to $8-9 a square foot.
It's crazy. I know.
And obviously, if you go faucets, marble floors, whatever, high ceilings, you're gonna be on the high end.
$1,000.
So,
It's
you
crazy.
could be very high.
Yeah. No,
So,
absolutely.
So what would you find better, I guess? New build, like ground up, or renovations, or
New builds are easier. There's always going to be some sort of challenges in any construction project. Nothing goes 100% according to plan. But a good QS, a good project manager, helps you mitigate those sort of risk and unforeseen.
Or Robbie.
Yeah. So I would prefer new builds. Renovations are always more difficult because you just never know what you're going to find when you start cutting back somebody's wall, watch rotted out.
Yeah.
Some
I was actually
contractor didn't
surprised.
build something properly 30 years ago, so now you're fixing it now, but you didn't know that at the time, and you couldn't really bid for that or include it in your project cost because you can only bid what you see.
I think there's obviously not that much land at all in Bermuda. Usually in the year, there's less than 10 land sales ever. But now, there's been, Whitecrest and Riddles Bay, so there's been a lot more lately than there typically. Yeah, you saw the Southampton Princess.
That was big news today,
so
guys.
I know.
What's your thoughts? What's your immediate thoughts?
We're dating. I don't know. Indifferent, honestly, is my answer. Very much so.
I'll sit on the fence with that one.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm the exact same way. Not good, not bad.
Exactly.
Where was I even going?
No,
with
let's
that,
turn
guys?
this into a Southampton Princess podcast. I'm joking.
So we're clearly dating the episode now of when this should be released. So hopefully we get this out soon enough. But what I was saying is I was surprised about just how, because there isn't much land, how actually cost efficient it is to demolish a property.
Yeah.
There's a house it's just under $10 million, big house, old house. And anyway, we went there with the contractor. They were like, "Oh yeah, you could probably demolish the whole thing for like 30 to 40,000." And so that's a lot of money. But when you think of this is a big house, and so you're thinking like, wow. So in a weird way, for that kind of budget, and then if you scale that back to a cottage size, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to renovate that house. I mean, I don't know if it's a standard 1,500, 2,000 square foot cottage. How much would it cost to demolish that and then build from scratch?
Getting into my memory bank now.
Yeah.
But something like that size, you're looking at maybe 15.
Which is a lot of money, but it's
because think about it when
you think then you have an empty
but
slate.
you got a free slate now. You got a free slate.
Yeah.
And you could do whatever you want with it.
I was shocked at that number. I was thinking it would be a 6-figure number for a big property. For this other property I'm talking about.
Think about demoing. You get in the excavators, the machines. It can be done really quickly, especially if you don't have to take care and save anything. That's the fun part of construction.
It's Bermuda. Everything's expensive. So I always assume the worst.
That's very reasonable just for future reference. Just getting the idea of that. I mean, and like you said, you're able to start with a fresh slate. You're not got to deal with someone who put wood down over here and did this over here. Just trying to, you don't need a structural survey if you could.
Just knock it all down.
So what's the difference between a structural surveyor and a quantity surveyor?
Structural surveyor is a registered engineer that comes out, looks at your property and says there are structural issues, like this beam needs to be redone, or your ceiling's falling in, your roof has leaks in it, your foundation wasn't done properly, your retaining wall's falling down. So they're going to let you know all of the deficiencies in the structural element of your house. Quantity surveyor is basically someone that looks at the plans or looks at a project and says, okay, it costs this. So different, but the same. We're still analyzing things. We're still looking at plans. We're still looking at properties, but two totally different sides.
From a transaction sort of space, the structural surveyor, those are ones that where obviously you place an offer subject to a building survey or a structural survey or a home inspection. All means the same thing. Different places call it different things, and so that's what they would do. Have you ever actually done that, where you actually go to a house as a condition of a sale to say, okay, subject to how much it's going to cost to do something?
I have not.
Because in a way, someone could make that a conditionality.
They
as
could.
Well.
I haven't experienced that personally, but I'm pretty sure someone has.
I mean, yeah, because I guess if
Someone
if you're
say,
buying-
okay, I want to
if
buy
you're
this
buying-
if
you're
the
buying a
extension
property-
is going to be within my budget.
Yeah, if you're buying something, if you're buying a piece of land and it has the plans, and it says they've said, oh, it's going to cost $1 million to build this, and the plans are included.
But,
In
but
the
it
property.
actually is going to cost
But then
one and
we
a
give the
half.
plans to Robbie, and Robbie says it's
Something else,
actually it's going to
yeah.
be this much.
But he has fine taste. So that's probably, he'll say it's more.
No, I'm gonna price that.
I know. I'm joking.
He was waiting for a laugh.
You
He was waiting for a
I
laugh.
know.
I wasn't gonna
You
give him a
looked at me
laugh.
so serious. I was like,
I know. I
wow,
wasn't going to give you a laugh. I didn't want.
yeah, yeah.
You've been on roll today though. So,
Okay.
Robbie, you have any questions for us? We're trying to
that's a
change the
first.
dynamic. Yeah. Any questions you guys have for Robbie? Let's throw him in the lines then.
Yell at him.
What about you know what I do want to talk about because I've seen a lot of it. The process that people I think should follow, especially if they have to get financing.
Is that a frequently asked? That's a FAQ.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right, speak to it.
You want to go into it?
I'm gonna
Alright,
let
so-
you lead. You lead.
Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that I'll get a call, or a contractor will get a call. I want to do this to my house. And, you know, you go to the house, people have no site survey, no topographicals done, no sort of plans, nothing. So they're jumping the gun in terms of who to call in first. The first thing that people need to do is, I would say, contact the architect.
We're going to put that right here.
Yes, call an
And then it's gonna be-
architect. Design. Get your design team in. So that would be your architect, your engineer, do your structural surveys, look at all of that. And then once you have some sort of schematics, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Give the architect some sort of idea so they can give a low level sort of drawing packet for someone like me to come in and say, okay, here's what it's going to be, a high level budget estimate. You take that to the bank, figure out if you can even get that. If you can, then you progress and get more detailed plans, and now you go to what you call planning submission, get that approved, go to building control. Then at that time is when I can give like a very detailed price within 10-15% of what your project's going to cost. And if you know you can get the high level budget number, then you're definitely going to be able to get the more detailed cost because it should actually come down a bit. And then you secure your financing and go. But so many people jump the steps.
And then now you're looking
you
at
know?
contractors that fit within the budget that
Correct.
you've set, right?
So then if you've now hired me after the fact to do your sort of tendering, helping secure contractors, going through the project management, then I would say, okay, well, you know, these contractors are good. Let's get bids from them. And I'm going to review those bids based on the budget number that we came up with at the beginning. And I'll help you select contractors, and then we're just going to...
So you're God. No, I'm joking. That's not my takeaway from that.
So top three contractors right now, who would you say?
I'm not
Okay.
answering that. I'm not answering that. I'm not answering that.
Robbie's like, that's my time.
No, I'm not answering that. No.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. There's
It
a lot
is.
of good ones,
And
honestly.
I've worked with quite a few contractors, you know. So yeah, I'm not gonna dog anybody out. I'm not gonna put anybody on the pedestal. So that can be discussed offline when you're ready to build.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I'll
Cut the
give you
camera,
some
but keep rolling.
recommendations.
Hot mic.
Yeah.
All right. So I think
I have an audience question.
Audience question. Robin.
What made you want to become a surveyor?
Funny story, actually, because growing up, I always said I'm never going to work in construction because I did 1 or 2 summers working at the cement silos up Dockyard, making $630 up there. Then 1 summer working at Works and Engineering in the depot, doing plumbing, and I said I'll never do it. Then I started to, as a summer job, do accounting, actually, because that's what my mind is in. So I did accounting.
Big numbers guy.
Yeah, and Career Construction offered me a summer job. And then at the time, the boss, Dennis Correa, like realized that I was good at management and, you know, construction management. So he pushed me to do it. So finished that, got a, you know, took some courses in it. And then I said to myself, okay, well, what else could I do to sort of, you know, put more letters behind my name? Speaking with Daniel, we came up with, you know, let's get our RICs. So I said, I've been doing sort of the back end of construction all this time, which is management, and then a lot of the building of the estimates, the numbers. So I said, okay, well, that's the best path for me to take, and now here we are.
Heck of a journey.
Yeah,
Great
yes.
story, honestly.
Heck of a journey.
You should be proud. That's amazing.
And so, you know, by the time this episode comes out, there might be a website or there might be something else
Or
that
more-
we can
more
put.
letters behind your name.
Daniel's trying to do a lot of shameless plugs for our business, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
ahead.
it's Compound Property Group,
Why
CPG.
do you keep
I
forgetting
don't
that?
know why I've written it.
I'm in
so
the
much.
middle.
Let me
I'm in
say
the
it.
middle
Let-
of this right
Let
now.
me say it. So our business is Compound Property Group. You might want to put it right here, compound.bm, if you want to check us out. Yeah. Daniel is in charge of the appraisals and valuing of properties.
And the events and stuff like that.
I'm in charge of the project management and QS side of the business. And yeah, we got 2 other companies, but go on our website and you check it out.
Cool.
Was that
And I
smooth,
think
Daniel?
That was perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's all from Robbie. Let's give him a round of applause. Any more questions from the audience?
Do you have like a horror story or like some like crazy stories or anything like that that have happened? Or you could-
I don't have a horror story of coming to the property end. If you look in today's newspaper, there was an article where a lady was awarded money from the judge because the contractor essentially bailed on her project. So again, he was the low bid. He didn't finish. She
Who was
would
it? Who was it?
I can't remember.
It doesn't
the
matter.
name.
The details don't
Yeah.
matter.
I want to know.
You're always trying to put me and other people in the spot.
I want to. That's what I do.
But yeah, so basically, the judge ruled in her favor that she had to get another contractor in to finish. So he had to pay the difference of whatever his contract was to what she had to pay, and then I think some damages or whatever.
Damn.
You know, what I imagine what happened is she picked the low bid. She didn't have a QS or a project manager to let her know that this bid's not realistic. And what happens a lot of times like that, the contractor is front end loading and getting a lot of drawdowns. So they're getting the money up front, but then at the end they're not going to be able to finish it because there's no more payments. So yeah.
Fair enough.
So without Robbie, you could go to court.
Although she won, but yeah, you don't want to
Yeah,
go
but
to.
you
No
don't-
one wants to go to court.
But
But it was from
but
2014, so that's
Wow.
what? How long?
9 years. Jesus.
That's a long
A
time.
long time.
It's been a long episode. And on that note,
Thank you, Robbie.
thank you, Robbie.
Wow, what an amazing guy Robbie is, and so much knowledge. What do you think about Robert?
I mean, I'm going into business with him, so I hope he's a great guy.
And what business, by the way? Because I feel like that's what the episode's about in the end. So left out.
Compound Property Group.
Yeah, good. I just want you to keep saying it into
Compound property group, compound
the
property
atmosphere
group,
so that you
compound property
remember
group.
it. But yeah, no, fantastic having Robbie on the episode. And finally, we had some better weather, even though actually it's not better weather inside, I guess I should say, because the last one got rained out. But
Oh, the last one got rained out?
it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Daniel, keys to the episode. What about you?
Honestly, my key is it's a long key, but it's like learn the process that you have to go through, right? Where a quantity surveyor plays great, it pays great dividends to just really get them in an early stage, or even a project manager, just to help better understand exactly the process that you're going to go through. There's so many people who just don't know the process, and that's why we have an episode like this to sort of share it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a specific key, but you get my point.
I do get it. I get your key. And for me, it's just to involve them in the real estate process when you're looking to buy something. I mean, I have a decent idea, so do contractors, but it's really the quantity surveyors who really and truly know.
You lowball the hell out of some stuff, you know. You'd be like,
No,
you'd be
no.
Oh, you want to go up a story? You want to go up a story?
$35.
Oh, you want to demolish this? Yeah, like 10K.
Just buy the place. But no, but I mean, honestly, I don't want people coming back and being like, you said this. But no, it's important to involve the QS because
Yeah, I mean,
really
they're
they'll be able
professionals,
to. I mean, they're not incentivized. I should say that because
No.
when you think about a contractor, they want you to buy the house because then they're
getting
like,
the work,
they want to
yeah.
get the work. But a quantity surveyor, they're kind of impartial and they speak from a point of fact, really. So
Yeah, they're friends with Rick, too.
Rick's certified, and Rick sometimes throws big parties, so that's always a benefit.
So, I mean, we've plugged Compound Property Group enough today, but is there another small business shout out or a meeting? I mean, I'm not going to say we're a small business.
You're not even
we're not
fully
even in business yet.
fully established. I don't know. Is it what,
You're right.
what
Okay,
the
we'll-
factory? I mean, we kind of
We've done that before.
We've done
Yeah,
that.
we gotta get them
I'm just trying to
catered.
shout out your other businesses.
We'll get them catered. Off-level games coming up. Off-level. Let's do that, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, by the time this launches, that'll have been a thing of the past. So I hope it went well.
Might have a storm that day, so we'll see how it
was
goes.
good though. It was good. A good day.
Yeah, it was a great.
This is gonna be after the fact.
Yeah, it was a great day.
Good.
Success. Huge
Who
success.
won? Who won?
Huge success. Who won?
Yeah.
A team in the color.
Yeah.
Ali's team won.
Ali's team won. Okay. Good. I had a great volleyball shot. That was fun. But anyway, so that's all good. And honestly, off-level games. I mean, really and truly, though, is that what 10 years almost?
I don't know. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, 10, 12. So yeah, over.
Yeah.
But with all of that said, I mean, we've gotten very off topic, but I appreciate everyone for tuning back in and joining back with us. I promise you and our group collectively, we promise to not take nearly as long of a hiatus as we have previously. And we're going to start rolling out some more episodes on a regular basis. So thanks for staying tuned with us. Thanks for staying subscribed with us. Mm-hmm. And if you have the opportunity or you would like to, like, share, comment, reach out to myself or Ben. And
any new guests, anyone, recommend anyone that, might be in a sort of real estate related industry. Happy to talk to you and happy to have you join us on set as well. So good.
We're shooting next Thursday.
We're shooting in a week.
That's what we can talk about. Next episode, Tika Gilbert.
Yep.
Architect. We was just talking to a quantity surveyor. He explored how important an architect is. So that's our next guest.
At a very, very cool location as well.
Yeah, very
a new
location.
listing that's it's listed, but it's not out there yet. So yeah, looking forward to showcasing that.
And after that, we've got a property lawyer, a boundary surveyor, and we've got what would you say Gerardo is?
He's a appliance guy.
Big appliance guy.
Fridges, stoves. He does it all.
You name it. Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.